Well, welcome back, YouTube. It is election day. I hope everybody went out there and voted. It's not who you voted for; it's the fact that you did it. Gotta make sure that you meet that civic duty. So it's been a minute since I've released my last video and episode, but I wanted to run through a few things that I've done. The key focus of this video is I have heat that does not come from my mini splits, and so I have done some unique things. I have a proof of concept that I want to share with you. You'll probably think I'm crazy, but I've done some research and it should work. But anyway, I do want to walk through everything with you, show you some unique things that I've done with my diesel heater installs. But I got both of them in, both of them working, both of them heating this big old tin can behind me. So with that said, let's go look at what I got done. Well, here I am inside the bus. This is my front diesel heater up by the kitchen and in the living area and stuff. Right now, this is all just test stuff. I put these things on just to keep it from blowing in one direction and dispersing the heat. I have tested these. They work well. I didn't do this video sooner because I had to order some things to complete the installation. Got those all in, got everything done. I want to walk you through how I installed them and show you some unique things that I did to make this a little bit different than what I've seen. One of the things that I do want to share with you is that so I drilled a 5-inch hole through the floor, and I did that because I bought these things right here that provide this heat shield that goes through the floor and protects the floor. Well, the problem is that I couldn't use them. I got two of them, can't use them. And the reason I can't use them, if you look right there, that mark matches the plate that actually came with the diesel heater, and that mark is where the wire for the fuel pump goes through the floor and connects to the fuel pump. These did not have that, and to be honest with you, I did not feel like messing with it. One of the things that I did do is I had a 5-inch to 4-inch heating duct adapter that I put down in the holes a long time ago. It was in the previous video, but I used that, so I figured that would work, and I decided to just scrap that. Unfortunately, I ordered these a long time ago, so I can't return them, so I'm stuck with them. Maybe I'll figure out something else to do with them. But at any rate, diesel heater is in. I got it all in, got it all bolted down, got it all working, centered over the hole down there. Everything is sealed, everything is in place, and it actually operates. So I am doing a proof of concept. You might think I'm crazy, but I'm going to try it and see how it works. But if you look over there at that PVC contraption right there, I am thinking about trying to use that PVC stuff to actually provide me a dispersal route and get more outlets out of this heater. I've got these 4 42 millimeter outlets on this thing, and I want to try to disperse that airflow a little bit. So I'm gonna try that. I've done a lot of research on the PVC. I've also used my heat gun and checked everything and made absolutely sure of the temperatures coming out of this heater. I'm doing a test with this at a very short run, but in reality it's going to be all the way up there at the front of the bus. It's not going to be this close to the heater. So with that said, let's go and look at the underside and see how I did the installs down there. All right, so here I am at the front diesel heater. This is a plate that I've added as the exhaust output that goes through the sidewall of the bus. A much neater, cleaner installation for the exhaust right here. It gets really hot in this area from the exhaust of the diesel heater, but it is I've got two of these, one for the front, one for the back. So that's what it looks like coming out the sidewall of the bus. It's nice stainless steel and clean, works really well. So I wanted to show you that, and now let's go to the rear diesel heater and go underneath so I can show you what it looks like in the way I installed it. All right, well, here we are underneath, and here is the installation mess that I got going on under here. So this is the pump for the diesel heater. They always recommend that you put it at a 45-degree angle, so I've got it secured like that. This is the power cable that comes through the floor, connects to the pump, provides power to the pump, comes in through here. This is that 5-inch to 4-inch adapter that I was telling you about. I got one on the front, one on the back. This is my air intake right here. I haven't secured it up yet. I will do that once I figure out exactly where I want to do it. But let's go through some of the nuances of this installation to show you something that I've done that I haven't seen. So this device right here is actually a check valve. One-way flow this way. It closes and will not let anything drop back. So the fuel cannot, excuse me, the fuel cannot drain out of the pump and go back into the tank or whatever. So when the diesel heater kicks on and it's trying to pump fuel, it's pumping it from this point right here to this point right here and getting it up to the heater. That's it. There's my fuel filter. I tried to make sure that this stayed vertical as possible to keep air out of it. And I actually used a bull primer pump to pull diesel from the tank back to here. I want to show you that. So here is my primer pump. It's got a flow arrow on it right there. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but it does have a flow arrow. I left this connection off right here and put this in there and pump this. Guys, this has probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 to 25 feet of fuel on, and it took me 3 squeezes of this to get fuel and get that filter filled up. Way easier than letting that pump try to pull that fuel all the way from the tank back to here. It would have taken forever. When I fired that heater up the first time, it took less than 3 minutes to get it to running, and that was because all it was doing was pumping fuel from here and up into the heater. And it does it at very small drops at a time, so that's why it took so long, but it started up really quickly. The other thing that I want to show you is, if you see this PVC pipe right here, my fuel line runs all the way from the tank to the back inside that PVC fuel line. And I'll go underneath and show you what I've got going on there and how that works. But all of that little plastic PVC fuel line is inside that pipe to protect it from the road. So this is how I did it. The uniqueness of this is this check valve to make sure the fuel doesn't flow backwards. It's a very short installation, and the pump is only pulling from the fuel filter up into the diesel heater. My exhaust right here, you can see the discoloration in the pipe. It's been running. So it comes out of here, it goes to the muffler, goes to my outside flames that I have on the outside of the bus, and connects. I've got the muffler in both installations. I tried to keep them horizontal to the ground. The drain tube for the muffler is down here. You always want to keep that down so that any condensation that builds up inside drains out. And that's what it looks like underneath. Now that I've showed you all of this, I'm going to come back in, put this wire loom over everything and tighten it back up and zip tie it down, and get my air intake here secured and mounted in a place where it won't get full of road grime. But that's what it looks like here, and it looks like the same thing in the front. It just, all of that stuff up there is all clean, secured, and zip tied down, so there was no need to show you. I will show you the muffler install up there and how that works. Show you they're both the same, but there is the mechanics of the diesel heater install. Big unique feature is that check valve right there, and I've got that on both of them. So let's run up to the front. Let's look at the exhaust in the front, and then we'll fire these things up. All right, well, here we are in the front. There's the muffler for my front diesel heater. Come down through the floor, goes in, goes out through the flange that I showed you earlier on the outside of the bus. That is the exhaust system. Air intake comes up and goes up there. Can't really see it. Let me get some light on it. There's my air intake. I've got it mounted up there, up above the ribs, hopefully trying to keep it clean. Going back, there is my PVC pipe that my fuel line is running to. This one is the fuel line that goes all the way back to the back diesel heater. If you look right there, there's the PVC pipe that comes from the tank. It contains both fuel lines. The one for this one pops out right there. I'm sorry, the one for the back pops out right there. Goes into the PVC and runs to the back. Going up here, you can everything is cleaned up and secured and stuff, but as you can see, I've got everything in wire loom. There's my pump up there. The fuel line comes out of it. Inside of here is my fuel filter, my check valve, everything the same here. When I primed this one, all I did was squeeze that bulb once, and I had diesel fuel and my filter was full. So that was a major benefit to getting this thing primed. Again, going here, there's my 5" to 4" adapter. Everything's coming out, everything's separated, everything is tied off. So this is the installation mechanics for the front side underneath here, and what it'll look like in the back when it's all tied up and finished. So let's migrate a little bit, and let me show you that PVC that's running to the back. There's the PVC that you saw on the other side coming out. This is a bin. There's no PVC there. It's just the tube. It's flexible, and I've got the wire loom over it to protect it. There's the PVC pipe. PVC pipe runs here. One of the things that I do want to point out is everywhere where I have a joint between the plastic tubing that came, actually I didn't use what came with the diesel heater. I bought some different fuel line to provide for this installation, because what comes with it disintegrates. But every place where I have these junctions in that tubing, I've got the rubber hose clamped off, and I've got those open. They will all be covered in wire loom. I just left them open for visibility so you can see what I got going on. So that's right here. And then if you look right here, there is the PVC, and it runs all the way back over the wheels and all the way back to the back. There's a joint back there as well. And then there's another joint where it 90s over to the diesel heater, and I've got it open there with wire loom on it. So that's how I did that. I've got the fuel line protected with that PVC. It ain't going to get hurt. And that covers everything on the inside or outside. So let's go fire these things up and see what happens. All right, well, here I am. Here is my controller for my diesel heater. This is actually the front unit. I went through earlier today and did all the settings that I needed to. Got the clock set. It's not very user friendly, but and the instructions are not clear. Like, it basically tells you to put it in this mode, press this button, and there's quotes, but in between the quotes is empty. So I had to figure it out. But anyway, I set the time. I've got it transitioned for my use, so it displays Fahrenheit temperatures instead of Celsius temperatures. But that said, let's turn this on. Hold it for 2 seconds, and you can hear the fan is on. One of the things that I always hear complaints about is hearing the clicking of the fuel pump, and I can tell you right now I'm trying to be quiet so we can hear it if it does click. I have heard it click in here a little bit, but it's not problematic at all, in my opinion. Now, that said, I've got 2 inches of foam insulation on the floor and then a 3/4 inch subfloor, so that might have something to do with it, plus the sheet metal of the bus. But the pump clicking, I have heard it, but it is not anywhere near like the complaints that I've seen on different videos related to Skoolies and diesel heater installs and things like that. So I can live with it. But right now it is going through its startup sequence, getting fuel into it. Should be pretty quick. It'll start firing up here in a minute. And as you can hear, the fan is starting to speed up. So that means that it is probably running.
Hi, you are currently being recorded.
Yep, I think the diesel heater just kicked in. Yep, I think it fired up. Hard to tell from in here. I use my temperature gauge to see what's going on. Temperature is still fairly low. Probably hasn't really kicked in yet, but in a second you'll be able to see that it is definitely fired up. Yeah, it's running now. It will start kicking out some heat here in a second. Takes a minute to get it up to speed and operating temperature and all of that, but once it does, man, this thing puts out some heat. Matter of fact, I was testing these out the other night, and it got so warm in this bus that it kicked on the cooling fans from our equipment base. So it definitely puts out some heat. There we go. Went from 63 about 2 minutes ago, and we're now hitting somewhere in the neighborhood of over 90 degrees, and it's climbing. So that's what we got coming out of the heater right now. And I'm on medium setting. I'm not really trying to crank it out. One of the things I want to do is check and see what the heat on, yeah, see my PVC that I'm testing right now is still sitting at 71. And the output air temperature is over 100 degrees. So, and I might be able to check that real quick. Yeah, the output air temperature out of the duct coming out of the PVC is over 90 degrees. But the PVC itself is climbing, but it's sitting mid-70s, so it's not heating up very quickly at all. Now, you look at that hose, 113, go to the PVC, I'm at 80. That PVC is doing a good job of absorbing that heat and not creating a problem. Go to that one, 90 plus, go back to the PVC, 70 something. Go to the output temperature, I'm at 120 degrees more or less. And it's fluctuating, that's because I can't keep it still, but over 100 degrees coming out. Yeah, I just have these set up. I haven't finished up the routing and all that stuff. I'm waiting for some things to get the routing finalized, but Go back and check my PVC. Climbed up to about 85. Alright, we're going to let this one run. And I'm going to go to the back and turn the back one on and show you that. And then we'll walk outside and let me show you what the exhaust sounds like.
Hi, you're currently being recorded.
Alright, here I am. This is the controller for the rear unit. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. Everything on medium, you can hear it. It's starting up. While we're waiting for this to kick in, let me show you a couple of things that I have done.
Hi, you're currently being recorded.
So, if you see right here, I've got a exhaust vent from a diesel heater. This is providing heat into the vanity area. This is adjustable to control which way the air flows and stuff, but it does work. I can feel air flowing out even though it's cold. The other thing that I did is I added one down here coming through the wall and into the composting toilet area, and this one blows air out in this vicinity right here and provides heat for the shower area. This is all open because I was working with routing the heater hoses and things like that, but those are the only two permanently installed mounting points that I have on the rear heater. They are always going to be that way. One of the challenges that I had, because I did this wall with the 2.5 inch 2x, there was not enough room to put a 90 inside the wall to be able to run the hose up inside the wall. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to run it on the outside of the wall and do something there. So I've got one hose that runs this way that goes over to that side. That one right there is going to provide heat for the back area of the bus back here. I've got some plans that are coming down the road for that, and I'll show you how that's going to work and get that heat there. This one right here is actually going to come up the wall and provide heat on this side, and that one goes into the shower area, and that one goes into the bathroom. So I'll have plenty of heat back here. That heater is going to more than suffice for this area without issue. So from what I've seen, one of these heaters would heat this entire bus, and I've got two. So, and that thing just kicked in. Seems to be working. I've got it on medium, so we'll monitor the output and see what it looks like, but it is running. Yeah, it's not generating heat yet. It's still kicking up. But anyway, I was really happy to get these diesel heaters installed. With winter approaching and the temperatures getting ready to drop, I needed to get some heat in here so my plumbing system didn't freeze. One of the reasons that made me prioritize this is that it got below freezing at one point, and I decided to use the heat on my mini splits, and it drained my batteries overnight. So I got to reconsider that. I'm going to use the mini splits to augment the diesel heaters. If it gets below a certain temperature and the diesel heaters can't keep up, then the mini splits will kick in. But otherwise, I'm going to use diesel heat because I can't afford my batteries to go down overnight. Now, in all fairness, my batteries were not 100% charged. They started out the night at like 50-60%. And there's other issues that I'm going to share in a future video associated with that as well. But so this diesel heater is kicking in. Let's look at that one. Nope. Look at that one. That one's starting to warm up. That one. That one definitely warming up. That one is definitely warming up. So we're starting to get some heat out. While we're waiting for this to kick up, let's run back and do a temperature check on the front. See what's going on. There we go. 130 plus degrees coming out of that pipe right there. I'm not dead on, but if I were, over 100 degrees. Check out my PVC. It's now at about 115 degrees, so it's definitely warming up. One of the things that I did do some research on is the melting point of the PVC and stuff. And the melting point of the PVC and any issues associated with that are well above any temperatures, even with these things on max, that I've ever recorded coming out of the diesel heater. So I'm not worried about melting the pipe or anything. One of the things is that if you put too much heat through them, they do degrade and can't support pressure, but there's going to be no pressure on this thing at all. So I think we're in good shape. I'm going to monitor this. I'm going to let it run. One of the things that I will probably do as part of my test, I won't do it in the video, but I will do it as part of my test, is go ahead and crank this thing all the way up and see what happens to that PVC with this thing on high, so that if I need to limit where I put it, I know what that limit is. But I won't ever run it on high. From what I'm understanding, running these things on high is probably not good for them anyway. I probably will always run it on medium, and in a 200 square foot bus, 2 8 kW, 5 kW, whatever they want to call them, I'm not going to have to run them on high. It will bake me out of here. So anyway, that's what we got going on. So what I want to do right now, though, is I want to take you outside and introduce you to how profoundly loud the exhaust is on these things outside the bus. Well, here we are. I forgot my light, so it's dark and you can't see, but we are standing right in front of the exhaust from my front diesel heater. What do you hear? A little whooshing sound. Guys, I am really happy with the level of noise that these things are outputting. It was a little bit louder before I put the muffler on. The only thing I had was this. But if you can see, pointing my temperature gauge, I'm well over 200 and something degrees coming out of there, depending on how stable I can keep my hand on that port going around. So right here in the center, let's see if we can do this a little bit better. So right here in the center of the pipe, we're running anywhere from 150 to 180, somewhere in that range. If I move this up and come out 3.5 inches away, I'm at 80 degrees on the skin of the bus. Closer you get to it, it does climb, but that's not transmitting or propagating that much heat through the skin of the bus away from that fitting. Going on this side, holy cow, I've got to get right on it before it starts registering on that direction. So let's go to the back, and we are now standing right in front of the back. I'm going to put the meter on it so you can see. Same results as the front, moving away. It doesn't take very long to get away from that thing before the temperatures drop drastically. But as you can tell, it is almost silent out here. I've got 2 diesel heaters running, and unless you're right in front of them, the only thing you hear is flowing air. So I'm really happy with that. So let's go back, do another temperature check on the inside, and we'll wrap this up. Alright guys, I'm back inside. I wanted to do a temperature check, but I do want to share with you that one of the things that I did was I just bumped up the heat output on this by 2 notches. So instead of being on medium at 3, I'm now on 5. 6 is the highest. Looking at the temperature coming out of the pipes now. Down warmed up quite a bit, 140 something.
Hi, we're currently being recorded.
Checking my PVC pipe.
Hi, you are currently being recorded.
Really not that bad. 112. Checking my that is 130 going into the pipe, but it cools down drastically at the PVC coming out this side. It's warm. It's definitely warming up the walls. Earlier they were in the low 60s, and now they're warming up. So anyway, that's what I got going on. I'm gonna let this run. I'm gonna do my proof of concept on that PVC and keep checking it. Right now I've got maybe a total of an hour on these diesel heaters running. One thing that I can tell you that I can't show you on video, but I can tell you very specifically, is that it is nice and warm and cozy in this bus right now. And prior to this, it was in the 50s. So they are definitely working. They're definitely heating this thing up, and I like it. One of the things I do want to check, and I'll show you, is the fact that these things are heating up the bus, and look at what's going on with my compartment temperature. So as you can see right now, my compartment temperature on the 12-volt side is climbing. It's sitting at 83 degrees. My fans are going to kick off in 2 degrees. So they're definitely warming up in there because of the extra heat in here. Coming over to this side. I got 81 on this side, so the fact that it's warming up in here is definitely elevating the compartment temperatures as well, but that's okay. I'm going to try to find a nice, stable, and comfortable environment so that everything is in balance, but I just got them installed, so I wanted to share that with you. I wanted to let you know I got them in, I got them working, and none of this is permanent. This is all testing and stuff. As soon as I build out this, that'll all be permanent. The only two things that are permanent in the back are the ones going into the vanity area and for the shower, which is right there and right there. Let me go ahead and since I'm here, let's check the temperature coming out. So I've got 100 degrees coming out of there into that vanity. That vanity is nice and warm right now, guys. I am not lying. That is a lot of heat coming into here, and it's nice and warm. So anyway, that's where we are. I wanted to share that with you. I wanted to show you what I got done, and with that, we are going to call this one a wrap and move on to the next one. Thank you for being here. Please like, please subscribe, send me some comments, let me know what you think.